Should we just start? Didn't know if anybody. All right, hello everybody. Thank you very much to all of you for dropping in and seeing this talk. My name is James White. I'm the CCO slash artist slash illustrator of STARKADE. So, our talk is called No Bullshit because, as everybody knows, in the Web3 space, especially now, things are tough. And the whole overall theme of this whole conference is to survive. And we're not going to butter this up. We're going to tell you our story, but we're also going to say a lot of the challenges at the end of this story that we encountered along the way. So, and there's a lot of slides, and we're going to rock it through this thing at like 15 to 18 minutes, capping it. So, tech guys, we got your back. Don't worry.
Vision, but in a scene with a short attention span. We're trying to actually share a 36-year passion project through gaming story, community, and ownership. And to give you an example, James started working on this in 1987 when he was just 10 years old, where he's going to show you some of that. We created a tabletop game and have been iterating on that since 2016. And the NFT side of our project's actually only come about since 2022. So the challenge that we have felt mainly is our #1 FAQ of when in this fast-moving, paced crypto scene. The reality of that is it's hard for the team. We have a small team, and the persistent pressure of the urgency, it takes its toll on us as founders and the rest of the team as developers. Our belief is truly quality of product, building for long-term worth, not short-term gain, and improving Web3 as a whole.
Which is always a challenge because building over the long term flies in the face of what a lot of Web3 is these days. So we're going to go all the way back to 1987, back to when I was 10 years old, and this is all the crap that I was into when I was a kid, which I still love to this day. He-Man, G.I. Joe, Masters of the Universe, Marvel Comics, Super Nintendo, nerdy movies, wrestling, He-Man, all that kind of stuff. And this is the DNA of what STARKADE will eventually become. Now, me and my childhood best friend, Mike, we started drawing our own wrestlers, making up our own characters way back when we were 10 years old. These are scans from my actual sketchbook from when I was a little kid, and we would roll dice to have our wrestlers fight. We had champions and rivalries, elaborate storylines. It was awesome. And these characters have been with me ever since. Like I said, 35 years. And here's some of the evolutions of what these characters would go through. So if you're looking at STARKADE.com, you'll see stuff that looks in the style of what's on the far right there. But this is where we started. The DNA of all of these characters started way back in 1987. Some of these characters have changed a lot along the way, and they've stopped being wrestlers at some point and started being superpowered beings, not unlike Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, all that kind of cool stuff. And, but the DNA of these characters is fully intact, along with a lot of their very stupid names, because I named these guys when I was 10 years old, and I really, really wanted to keep that essence. And here's Tiger Ali. He's going to show up later on in the presentation, but he's our #1. He's our main champion and also my favorite. So, rocket to 2016. I'm hanging out in a pub in England with, I'm Canadian, by the way, that's why I have this accent. And I was hanging out in a pub with Naomi, and I started talking about my characters, saying, how do you make people care about these characters? And Naomi, in her infinite wisdom, said, what you do is you make a game. Like you and Mike made a game when you were kids, make a game. Like, start exploring that world, which is what we did the following day. And so I started writing up all these different cards, put dice into it, and it sucked. Like, one match between two fighters would take 2 hours, and it wasn't fun, and the math didn't work. But we started iterating. We went through 10 prototypes to try to get to the final card game. And you know, I was doing the design myself early on. I'm an illustrator, not so much a designer, but when Naomi started to come on board with the design, it started looking a lot better. We hired my good friend Lucas Gardner, who is a lifelong gamer, as our gaming architect, and he would end up working with the STARKADE PFP project, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And as you can see through these images, it ended up to this is the final prototype. So we have this set up at, well, or we will, at the STARKADE booth. So afterwards, if you have questions, you want to see the actual prototype in the flesh, which is a weird way of putting that, please drop by the STARKADE booth because we'll have it set up. And this, we are looking to bring the STARKADE tabletop game to maybe Kickstarter, because there's a huge gamer audience, especially board games and tabletop games on Kickstarter, and that's what we want to do within the next couple of months, second half of the year anyway. That's our goal. Oh, and this is a lot of pictures, a lot of the illustration that I've done for this thing, and our favorite place to play is in the pub, because people wonder what the hell we're up to.
So if we jump to 2022, this is where our NFT collections kicked off. So first up, we had a collection of 7,000 fighters. Each with their own unique abilities. They're dynamic NFTs, all of their metadata is updatable, so if you're a holder, you can train them up, you can improve on them, you can earn credits, which we'll get into. And within the drop, we included 15 megastars, which are our one-of-one legendaries, which are based on the characters that James created when he was a kid. And the megastars themselves also have earning abilities, so they get a monthly wage and they also get a popularity bonus based on how many people have trained with them that month.
Then we, after the drop, that was January of last year, we decided to do a Lost Fighters promotion, and that was 300 more fighters along with 15 megastars or calamities, and again, these fighters came bundled with all kinds of unique abilities, and the calamities were our megastars this time. The megastars, when I refer to them, they are main characters. These are a lot of the characters that we put in that run the storyline, and again, they are holdable by holders, and they earn credits through the training ground that we'll get into later on. And we did a big promotion for the Lost Fighters, and through our Discord, a lot of our core members are there to this day, and they're the ones that participated in this deep narrative that our good friend John wrote, and it was amazing to see the people gravitate toward this, and we gave away all these Lost Fighters, more rare than the original PFPs.
Yeah, we also, because we launched on Ethereum L1 when it was still on proof of work, we did offset our carbon footprint. We offset 5,000 tons of carbon along with planting 250,000 trees. We give monthly to a partner called Ecology, who's based in the UK, and our community have also then planted trees within the STARKADE forest. So again, community building through the love of the environment, which has been awesome.
So the world and the story, again, these characters have been with me for 35 years, which is a hell of a long time, and a lot of story and a lot of thought going in behind them. So in 2019, I decided I'm going to do a six-page comic that kind of sums up the world of STARKADE. And I self-published this thing. It was a collaboration with a bunch of buddies of mine back home in Nova Scotia, Canada. And a lot of this has changed since the PFP project, since we actually hired a real writer and not me, who was just sticking words together, and created a world map. So all of the PFPs, all of the fighters that people minted, all 7,000 of them are from different areas and regions within our world, and bundled with those regions come unique abilities and stats and that kind of thing. And everything not unlike Mortal Kombat. Everything aims toward the STARKADE tournament, and this is the arena that orbits a nearby star, and it's just like Mortal Kombat, and the fate of the planet lies in whoever wins the ultimate tournament. And I've been designing characters my entire life. I love to do it just on my own time. It's never been a profession, but I just do it on my own. And these are a bunch of the megastars. Some of them have been released in the PFP project, other ones haven't. But and a lot of these have their DNA, again, way back to those sketchbooks from when I was 10 years old. So it's incredibly fun. And this is just a big picture of Volta Grimm. She is our big bad. She is our Skeletor. She is our Megatron, right? She's our Darth Vader. And she is lost in the sands of time in the STARKADE universe, and she might come back to wreak all kinds of havoc. So if there are any holders of STARKADE fighters here, she's going to be the one to take down, and it's not going to be clean or nice. And the artwork, I accumulated a lot of artwork. I've never stopped drawing ever since the age of 4, and I accumulated a hell of a lot of artwork, and it allowed us last year to self-publish a 214-page Art of STARKADE book. And we have a prototype to this, again, at our booth, so afterwards, if you want to come and flip through this thing to see 35 years of STARKADE artwork, please stop by. We'd love to see you.
So the build. So we've got recruiter profiles. So if you are a holder of STARKADE, you can go to starkade.com, and then you can customize your own URL with your ETH address or your own preferred recruiter name. This is a way for you to showcase all of your collection, your fighters, your power-ups, your items, your specials, and show off how many credits you might have earned along the way. Bragging rights to the rest of the community, if you like. Equipping your fighter. If you're lucky enough to scoop, there's some really awesome fighters on the floor at the moment. Go and get them. If you get one comes unequipped, you can then connect to starkade.com and choose your equipment as well. It has an effect on the different stats, and then also it then permanently updates your NFT after that. Plug again.
Oh, plugging in, that's me. Yeah, plugging in your fighter is our staking mechanism, and the goal here is to create a number of apps that would do different things by plugging in. Currently, we have the training ground, which we'll get to in a second, but we want to do things like a changing room. So you plug in your fighter into our staking thing, and then you can staking thing, that's the technical term, and you can change the attire and the armor before going into the Legion Arena, which we'll be getting into a little bit later on as well.
Yeah. So training your fighter is after you've plugged in, you then train.
Sorry.
Yes, thank you. And then choose, we've got 16 megastars that you can go and train with. If you do the entire worth of training, it will take you 2 years, so there's a lot in there, a lot to learn. You learn combos, fighting styles, and taunts that are then can be used in Legion Arena, where you also get some awesome or not so awesome feedback from the megastars themselves. And earning credits, so we launched with Web 2 based credits to test our economy while we're still in build phase. This has been a real key for us to be able to make sure that everything's going the way that it wants to before we then move on, potentially in future, to a Web3 token. So at the moment you can earn credits in 2 ways. One of them is if you're a Megastar holder with your monthly income and your popularity bonuses.
And these here things, if there's any STARKADE holders in here and you picked up one of these in the warehouse, these are mystery items, and they're going to be revealed really soon, and we're going to drop a little bit of alpha here. I'm sure that anyway, sorry. Andre's going to have this on the Discord immediately. But these are going to be corporate sponsored cards. So just by holding these things, you'll be able to use STARKADE credits. So yeah, that's going to be super fun.
So Warehouse. Warehouse is our storefront where we sell 1155 tokens. This is where you can buy power-ups and items that you take into the arena alongside your fighter to battle.
And I had to develop a hell of a lot of artwork for these things. And every one of these cards, every one of these items come with unique abilities. So they're all going to be completely usable within the STARKADE, or within the Legion Arena. And there's legendaries as well, some one-of-ones, some are scans directly out of my sketchbook. And I got to design vehicles. Action figures when I was a kid back in the 80s, we needed to design vehicles to put the action figures in, you know, like grown men do. So, you know, I got to design my own vehicles, which was dope as hell. Basically why I did the project. And we also hid one copy of this limited edition STARKADE art book within the warehouse, so if you manage to get this, this is redeemable for a physical art book. Oh, and another thing, for NFC Lisbon, we decided we were going to hide Tiger Ali's sword in one of those crates as well, so if you manage to get that, it is redeemable through sending it to our community wallet, and we will send you Tiger Ali, the most powerful megastar in the STARKADE universe, and he comes with a hell of a lot of credits too, which is awesome. So the Legion Arena, the build, this is where everything is leading. So everything that we showed you guys that's in this presentation, all the mechanics are inbuilt with every single megastar, with every single PFP fighter, item, power-up, and it's all coming together with to the Legion Arena. This is our digital game. It's a Web 2 game utilizing Web 3 assets to keep things speedy, to eliminate gas as well. And everything that we're doing is aimed at this. And it is in development, and we're hoping to go to beta within the next few months. All right, so our talk was called No Bullshit. Now we're going to sum this up, and we're going to tell you guys some of the pitfalls and some of the roadblocks and the curves that we were throwing over the last year and a half. It's been a challenge. A lot of it has not been fun, as a lot of people in this room are probably aware if you run a project or are a part of one.
Yeah. So when we first deployed our original contract in 2022, end of January, we actually noted a flaw in the contract. So we had a decision to make whether we burn that contract entirely, pay everything again, and relaunch it, or whether we actually thought about could we reuse that contract in some other way, keep it there, and relaunch it properly without the issue in it, that's what we decided to do.
And to elaborate on that, what we decided to do was, remember the Lost Fighters promotion that I talked about from way back we gave away to our holders? That's what we turned that into. So we took the busted contract and we actually utilized it to make another collection, which had me making another 328 individual assets, which broke my ass. But it was awesome, but the downfall of that was it took 2 to 3 months of the entire team dedicated to work on this one promotion. And it was an insane amount of time, and we completely underestimated how much time that would take. But we did it for the community, and a lot of our core members are still there to this day, and this is what solidified them within STARKADE, and they're still there supporting us, and the rest of the holders didn't give a shit, which kind of felt bad.
Obviously, we all know about scope bloat. Anyone in the creative industry, we know how that happens. New ideas and additions come up all the time, especially when you're working with community as well, and they put a strain on timescales. And development always takes longer than we imagine, especially in gaming. We're building a Web 2 game, and yeah, it always creeps.
Our UK bank shut down our fucking business account.
That was
Shouts to
fun.
Barclays, you dickheads.
And there was a really tiny coding error in our credit, our Web 2 credit build as well. It was one misplaced digit created a massive bloat of inflation. So the holders of the megastars were actually earning an accumulative amount of credits month on month, which is not how it was designed. Luckily, we caught this, we could do something about it. Again, we're kind of relieved that we launched in a Web 2 way before launching it as a Web 3 token.
Yeah, it was a close call. Legion Arena is still in development. Our original roadmap had this thing launched last fall or late summer, and it's still in development because, like we said earlier, every timeline gets bloated and schedules get stretched, and yeah, it's been a challenge, especially because this guy showed up last year, so thanks for that.
So I suppose our takeaway for any of you guys who are holders of projects is just please actively champion like the projects that you hold. Like, people are working really hard, but also you own these. The whole idea around ownership and tokenization is the fact that we own these things. So advocate for your own investments. Instead of asking when, we would ask you to ask, how can I help?
So thank you everybody for being here. We got a little video that we want to play that's kind of a wrap up of everything and trying to show the energy that we put into STARKADE as a product. So sincerely, thank you all for being in this room. We really do appreciate it, friends and strangers alike. And yeah, please drop by our booth. We're going to be there for the rest of the afternoon. I'm going to be drawing some nonsense. We have a couple of these zines left. People picked us dry yesterday, but we got a couple of these STARKADE zines, which is 44 pages of artwork, again, throughout the years, trying to sum up 35 years of artwork. And anything else? Go to STARKADE.com if you want to check us out. And that's about it. So we leave you with this thing. Would it be funny if I broke into song right now? Thank you everybody for coming, really appreciate it, thank you.